Hello, I'm Robert, voluntary fact checker and helping if you're scared of many things. And I, as I said in my blog post already, this is about the claim that Trump could somehow take over Greenland against the wishes of the Greenlanders. And I said in my blog post it's completely impossible for him to do that. There's no way he can get from here to there by any means whatsoever. And I already mentioned Ted Lear, who said it's just simply a fact that it's illegal. But and then since then we had retired Admiral Mike Franken, who said that it would be a war crime, going a bit stronger than that. And but I haven't seen anyone spell out why yet, apart from this very specialist post by Ed Marston Santos, an academic from Dublin in Greenland, Ireland, who was an expert on the treaty implementation. But he's not an expert on the US Constitution, so he doesn't mention the supremacy clause. So I thought I'd just go quickly over my graphic, and I've added those extra points to the graphic just to make it very clear. So first of all, it's unconstitutional by the supremacy of treaties. That's Article 6, Clause 2, which means that any treaty that the US has entered into is binding on US citizens. And so that means all the soldiers and President Trump himself, they're all bound by the NATO treaty, by UN Convention on Treaties, by anything that the United States has joined. And this means that even if somehow Trump was to pardon the general and all the soldiers and say, look, I'll do it even if, and I'll pardon you if you do it, go ahead and do it anyway, then the Supreme Court would simply say the United States can't recognize Greenland as part of the United States because of the supremacy of treaties. So there's no way he can get to that point. And then also there's by the Vienna Convention on Treaties, if any treaty obtained by force or coercion has no legal force. That's my summary of what it says in the Vienna Convention. And so even if Trump was to obtain it by the things he's been doing so far, so threatening to invade Greenland without actually invading it, if he managed somehow to persuade the Prime Minister of Denmark and the Prime Minister of Greenland to sign a treaty because of the threat that the United States would invade Greenland if he does not, or because of his threat that this would lead to the breakdown of NATO, then that would not be a valid treaty. And the United States would be required to say, under the Supreme Court would rule very clearly, that if Trump then says, okay, I've now signed this treaty with Greenland and Denmark, look, here's the bit of paper, and I prove that they've signed it, then the Supreme Court would say that's not a valid treaty, it's null, it's void. So there is no way that Trump, by doing what he's doing, could ever end up in a situation where Greenland is legally part of the United States. And then also, if he was to do it, and suppose he abused his pardon power and somehow forced a general and 1,000 soldiers to take over Greenland, then I think there would be, many in the United States have no idea. It would be very much like if someone tried to, using force, to persuade, say, Vermont to leave the United States and join the EU. Then they would have all the benefits of free travel throughout the EU without a visa. They could use the euro. They would have universal health care, probably, if they would, depending on what they would have the option for that anyway. And but they would lose the ability for visa-free travel throughout the United States. Who in Vermont would want that? Well, it's very much the same in reverse for the Greenlanders. They would want to join the EU. They would want to remain in the EU, rather, remain in NATO and remain in the EU. And there's only 8% of them would want to exchange a Danish passport for American passport. And they're the languages of Greenland are Greenlandic and Danish. It's not English. They wouldn't want all their documents to be in English, like they would have to be if they were, and they wouldn't want the second language to be Spanish. It makes no sense. They're never going to join the United States. It's an absurd idea. So anyway, hopefully that helps some of you to understand this a bit better and be less clear, less scared by all these things. It's a lot of rubbish. And there's also Trump. There's no way that Trump doesn't know this. So he is far more careful than people make him out to be. Look how long it took him. It was from August to now before he did. He gave the okay. They first planned the Venezuela operation before August when he authorized CIA sending operatives there. So if he really did have a plan to try and take over Greenland, he would certainly have run it past experts and not just made an impulsive decision to do that. And he has people who know perfectly well that it would be illegal and unconstitutional. So I don't believe that he has, for a moment, even the slightest intention of doing anything. It just is, and as I say in the rest of my longer blog post, but I'll just go it very quickly just now. The Trump has shown no interest in the minerals on Greenland on a practical level. He has not started any form of negotiation with either Denmark or Greenland or with the many companies in the United States who might invest in Greenland. And the Greenlanders, they are very open. They want United States companies to invest in Greenland in their minerals, but it's very complex, very expensive, difficult thing to get sorted out because of the extremely harsh conditions there. And they're actively trying to get American firms to get interested, and Trump is doing nothing to help there. And then when it comes to security, then there's been only one delivery to Greenland by sea, because there is only one delivery a year, and that was in July, and with an oil tanker and a cargo ship and an icebreaker. And the only named item in the summary of what they sent there was new furnishing for the accommodations in the Greenland base, which has only 150 soldiers. So I don't believe Trump has the slightest interest in increasing the military presence in Greenland either. So I originally thought it might be one of those things, but in looking into it deeply in those details, then it's just a distraction. I can't think of any other reason why he's doing this. So distracting away from his domestic troubles and things like that. And maybe because he likes being in the news, and you can work up with other hypotheticals, but whatever his motivation, there's no way that he actually has any intention to do anything here. So I hope this, I do this to help square people, so I hope this helps you to be much less scared about this and to realise it's just not going to happen. It's just going to be a big thing in the news, and Trump is the one who's giving it all the momentum, and he's got lots of reasons to distract from things at home. So for as long as the Europeans are making a fuss about it, and they're just making a fuss back again because they can't seem weak to Trump, so they've got to make a big fuss back when he makes a big fuss, and that's just going to keep on and on and on for as long as he needs this distraction, or until the Europeans just give up and stop responding. So I think that's what's going to happen. So this may well continue for a few days. So I thought I should do another video. Check in the video description. I'll give a link to my blog post.